prom, becoming a father, me becoming a grandmother. All of this was taken from me. My son did not deserve this. Me and my family is devastated. To the mothers, to the mothers, to the mothers, what if this was your child? What if this was your child? My son went to school that morning and he never came home. My son lost his life at school. What if it was your child? How would you feel? You would want your child's murder to be solved. It was hundreds of kids out here. A lot of kids has been messaging me, telling me things. Please allow your child to come forward and identify the shooter. It's hard for me every day to go on without the only thing that I ever loved or had in this world is just gone. Please help bring closure to me and my family. Please. It's an anonymous hotline. It's a lot of ways that this shooter can be identified without anybody knowing who you are. Just please give my son justice. He was 14 years old. He did not deserve this. All I had in this world was taken from me. I now have to find a will to live and go on. Please help me and my family. My name is Amanda Lenore, AmandaLenoir. Please help us. Please reach out to these detectives and help us get justice for Marshawn Mitchell. Thank you.
Andrew Holmes, crisis responder. You know, every case is tough, so I'm gonna give thanks and take my hat off to the detectives working this case, Country Club Hill Police Department and the chief, but my heart goes out to this family. But the search is on for the individual that discharged this weapon. You know who you are. Soon Country Club Police will know who you are too. You know, there's a place where you should just come yourself, because sooner or later, and this message goes out to the mother and the father, you know your children. You know what they're capable of doing. Someone done called you and told you what they done did. If you suspect this is your child that discharged his weapon and ran like a rat, he's gonna get trapped. And I say this to the mothers, this message goes to mothers and fathers. If your son or daughter was at this game, attending this game, sit down in your bedroom, sit on your bed and think, what if this was your son or your daughter that got hit, that got shot, and you lose your child? Think hard. So in saying that, get around that table, pull your children to that table, get the information from your child. This case can be solved with the community's help. Talk to your teenage son or daughters who was at that game. Get that information from them and pass that number on. The chief gave you 2 numbers that you can call. Country Club Hill is being transparent about this. All information is confidential. We do not want another child to lose his or her life due to negligence of someone discharging that weapon. Parents, you be the police and the detective out here. Talk to your children. Pray with your children. Get that information. This mother is suffering. This was her only baby. This was a gift. She cherished and nourished this baby 9 months. And it took a second for an individual, maybe your child if you listen, that took this baby's life. So we're asking that you do use the 1-800 numbers, call the detectives out here, and give up the information on who this shooter was. You may stay in Country Club Hills, you may stay in another suburb, or you may be in the city of Chicago. It doesn't make any difference. Soon, you shall have a set of handcuffs on you. I'm about 150% positive that you shall be in custody.
I'd like to introduce Alderman from our city. He wants to make an announcement on behalf of the city of Country Club Hills. Alderman Lockett.
Thank you. On behalf of the Honorable Mayor James Ford and the City Council, Country Club Hills would like to put up a $3,000 reward for any information leading to arrest and conviction of this terrible person that committed this crime. And also myself, I would like to help this family with $1,000 of my personal money towards funeral expenses. Once again, Andrew Holmes mentioned that there's a lot of people out there was at this game and knows who had a gun or the shooters that was involved. Not only did you take this young lady's son, but you robbed these other kids out of their homecoming dance also. So if you know something, say something. Thank you.
Alderman, what's your first name?
Vincent.
Vincent Lockett.
Correct.
We do have time for a few questions, but understand that this is an active investigation. A lot of critical information is out there, so we will answer as best as we can. So I'll open the floor to any questions.
You didn't mention suspects, plural. Are you thinking it was one individual who discharged a weapon, but you're looking for more than one individual?
At this point, we're looking for more than one individual.
Do you know how many?
I do not. Between 1 and 3 is the information that we're getting.
You've been able to in your mind, identify via surveillance video who it may be, but you're looking for a positive.
That is correct. We're looking for a formal identification by an eyewitness. We have developed a lot of information, social media and other routes that we're looking into.
You've identified a face or a vehicle or what exactly, and you're looking for?
Well, at this point, look, to maintain the integrity of the evidence, I'd rather not respond to that.
Chief, if I can ask, when I was out Saturday morning, I interviewed some students who were at the game, and they talked about a commotion that had taken place at Independence Park. They even heard in your description officers breaking up something. Can you give us a little bit more insight of what was happening? There have also been some rumblings that maybe there was a group chat that had gone on. First question, was Marshawn targeted? A, and then B, what happened prior to all this? Was it a fight? Was it something that took place at the game prior to?
Well, from the information that we're getting, we do not believe Marshawn was the actual target in this incident. We do believe that some of the kids that he was hanging out in the group had an altercation with the other group. So that's pretty much the extent of what I can say about that.
Chief, where exactly did the shooting occur?
It occurred, the address is 174-1 Pulaski. It occurred just south of the high school, if you will. There's a horseshoe driveway, just on the westernmost driveways where the incident where the sidewalk occurred.
So across the street?
No, it's on the same side of the street. Yes.
Do you believe that these suspects are juveniles?
To maintain the integrity, I'd rather not respond to that at this point.
Chief, if you could elaborate a bit on what you mentioned earlier. You said that there's been a lot of reluctance for some of the people that may have witnessed this incident to come forward. From your heart, what would you say to them now? And if their parents are aware that their children were involved, what would you say to their parents?
I would say, like I mentioned earlier, talk to your kids. This case needs to be solved. You have a grieving mother, a grieving family, and I would hope people would put themselves in their shoes and hopefully feel the same feeling. So I would say consider everything. Look at the bigger picture. If you can provide information that could actually lead to an arrest in this case, please come forward.
Chief, also there were earlier reports that possibly a black vehicle had driven up to the area. Is that true or not true? Do you believe that these suspects were on foot?
I can tell you today we recovered a vehicle that we believed is involved in the incident. Illinois State Police is actually currently processing the vehicle as we speak.
Can you give us the make and model?
At this point, I'd rather not.
And just to be clear, you believe that these individuals who you're hoping to get a positive ID of were captured on surveillance video?
I'd rather not answer that right now at this point, pending the investigation.
I guess, Chief, at least finally for me, I heard you loud and clear when you said, hey, there's been some reluctance. Is there something more that the department can do? I mean, the family is even talking about hiring private investigators. And so is there more pressure that can be put on the public in terms of those folks that are reluctant to talk, whether it's parents, whether it's students, whomever? Also, I'm just thinking, are there metal detectors in the school?
Yes.
Okay.
Now, be mindful it occurred outside the school after event.
Talk about the pressure piece for me, the reluctance from you.
Well, you know, I think it's a fair thing. You know, a lot of people are afraid to, say anything. So in fear of retaliation, they're not willing to talk. As far as our efforts, this is our full time. Our detective division. This is it. This is all we're working on because we're going to solve this. Every effort that we have, every resource that we have, we're putting towards this.
Is your department's top priority?
100%.
So at this point, where does the reward amount stand then? Would it be a total of $13,000, Mr. Holmes? Would that be accurate? If we add everything together, would that be accurate?
No, it would be $5,000 at this point now. Total of $5,000.
And that's up from last
And
year.
is that in addition to the $3,000 that was just announced
Yeah.
by the alderman?
Yeah, it was 2,000 at first, now to 3,000, so that makes it $5,000 now.
Thank you.
Yep. And Mayor, Chief, you say right there, we talk about pressure. Nobody knows pressure than his family. They under a lot of pressure. So the pressure is for the parents. You don't want to lose your son or daughter. You need to come forward. And the individuals and students come forward. Start speaking up and start telling. This is the only way we're going to solve this. These detectives are working the case around the clock. But the pressure should be on the parents and that shooter out there. That's where the pressure's at. And understanding about the doors. You close and open the door every day for your children or for your loved ones. Now this mother and this family have to go through closing a door on a casket. Think about that. So we're encouraging the parents to get involved in what's going on out here at the school, on the streets, in the churches, at vigils, everywhere. Give up this information. This department is taking this personal like I'm taking this personal. This city should be taking this personal. This world should be taking this personal. This is a baby. This is a child. Sit down. The police department, detectives are human just like we're human. They have family too. They're taking this just as hard as we are. So mothers and fathers, students, do the right thing. You go to school to study, but guess what? You have rights too. And the right you have is to give up this information, call the Country Club Police Department, call the 1-800 number. Let's get this individual off the streets before he strikes again. Because if he struck once, guess what? He have no fear, no heart about striking again. He needs to be sleeping here at the Country Club Hill Police Station and prosecuted to the fullest. Because after this, we're going to make sure that this state's attorney stays strong and stand behind this police department and prosecute these individuals.
Thank you, sir. In conclusion, personal is an understatement. My whole division here, it's a personal thing. We all have children. We know how it is. So you were going to get 100% effort out of myself included. We vouch to put every resource we have to clear this case. In the meantime, what we'll do is, as any updates that become available, I will send out press releases as they become available to keep the open communication with the media. I want to say thank you to the media for coming out. It was definitely appreciated. Thank you.